Good morning, everybody. We're just waiting on the sleepy heads here, so we'll give it till 38, and then we're going to move forward, ready or not. You guys should have your warm-up on the tabs ready to go. Hi, Cameron.
Hello.
Okay. Let me just grab these last few people that joined us because I was talking to somebody. Okay, we'll just have to catch the other ones as they come in. So we're going to start the warm-up. Remember, your warm-up document is in Google Classroom. Each and every day you are here, I will present the warm-up on my screen and give you 2 minutes to answer the question. So here we go. Warm-up question today. Put that on the screen. Give me 1 second. Landon, will you be my MC today?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead in 3, 2, 1. Whoops, that was yesterday's. No, yeah, that was today. Sorry. 2, 1, start. Got about 1 minute. About 15 seconds. Okay, time is up. Okay, so can I get somebody to tell me what they wrote? What are 3 parts of a recipe? Maybe you only got 2. How about Cameron? Give me what you wrote for the warm-up today.
I didn't really know what to write, but I said the definition of recipe. Wait, oh crap, no. Hold on, I put some. Oops. All right, I said the 3 parts are nutritional facts, how to make it, and like how long it'll take to make. But like, I wasn't really sure.
Okay. Well, you nailed 2 of them, nutritional analysis and then directions. And then anybody hit on anything else besides those 2 things? This will help Cameron out for his third, if that helps you.
Ingredients.
Ingredients. Thank you. Okay, there's 3. Anyone else hit on anything else besides those 3? Those are kind of like the go-to, I would say, you know. Any others out there? Okay, you could have had name, the name of the recipe, monster cookies, banana bread, equipment, what's needed. So last time we met, we were reading a recipe on quesadillas and you needed a fry pan for that. And then it also talked about how many people it fed. So that would be considered its yield. So those were just the few that were not said, but that, you know, definitely are something that you can find on a recipe. So if you didn't get that question correct, remember, it doesn't really matter. You know, Cameron would have got full points today anyway, even though he said something totally different. But it still was related to a recipe. I mean, yeah, you do need to know the oven temp, but I think that would be along the lines of directions. But, you know, I would not mark that wrong. And so, you know, you don't need to change anything as long as you have 3 things that would make sense that, you know, have to do with the recipe for that warm up to be accurate. Okay. But some people have to be right. So if you're one of those people, then that's why I kind of went over it and for a good review kind of for what we talked about the last time we met. So I do want to talk about some of the upcoming things. So if you did not do your selfie presentation, which is basically reading your slide for me and to all of us, then that's something that you still need to accomplish. I need to know. So you can put in the chat and I will have Landon kind of monitor that. So if you still need to do your selfie, you can put in the chat that, yes, I am a person that still needs to do it, so that we can get that out of the way and put that to bed. But I did do final grades on that. Some people are still coming in with those, but you know, they're late unless there's a good reason why they're not getting in. I also graded the My Job, Your Job, which, you know, there's a lot of people that were posting in late, which is okay. But just kind of keep that in mind that if you are turning assignments in late, you will receive half credit. So FYI. And then the last time we met, we also did a pre-test. So if you were not present for the pre-test, then you will need to come to my office hours, which are Tuesday and Friday from 11 to 12. And then Thursday, they're from 2 to 3. So pre-testing, I do need you to take that. So you will need to come to office hours on those days to do that. And so that's kind of what we did last week, kind of a short little rendition. This week, we're going to hopefully finish out this kitchen measuring math and, you know, complete it. There's a couple of projects that kind of go with it. So just kind of keep that in mind that the final project that we'll do is something just to show me what you learned about the whole process of, you know, looking at things you use in the kitchen, how to measure, what equivalency is, how to read a recipe, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of going to be our finishing assignment. And I would love to get that out by Thursday, but we may have to push into Tuesday a little bit, which is okay. No problems there. So, and if there's anything good for the order, put that in the chat, because right now I'm just going to go into the kitchen math. And you guys, if you were here last week, go into Google Classroom and open the document that goes along with this PowerPoint or Google slide. If you were not here last week, then you do need to go into Google Classroom. It's under Kitchen Math Worksheet or document, and you need to open it. If you're a little late, you can go back to the videos and watch them on the ones you missed. That's fine, but otherwise we're going to move forward and continue with our worksheet. So Landon, anything in the chat I need to know about?
Nope.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, again, use the chat. Landon's going to be our guy. He'll let me know. Landon, if you can't hear me at any time or I'm glitching or whatever, you can let me know that too. But you're just kind of the guy that oversees while I'm presenting. So yeah, a lot of responsibility here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and present my screen to you again, and then we're going to start in on our Google Slides, and your worksheet should be open and ready to go. So if you were not here last week, we already did on the front side, we already did slide 8, slide 18. Oh, maybe we didn't do 18. I don't think we did 18, but we were on slide 8. So just recapping, and I'm just going to yell out some names here for you to unmic and tell me what some of these abbreviations are. But like, for example, pound. So if I could get Abby, can you just tell me the abbreviation for pound? Miss Abby. Okay, then let's move on to Skylar. Do you know the abbreviation for pound?
Isn't it LB?
Yep, excellent. Thank you so much. And then let's go to Caden. Can you tell me the abbreviation for a tablespoon?
TBSP.
Excellent. Do you know the other abbreviation that you could use for that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no.
Okay, that's all right. Capital T is something else you might see on recipes. And then one more for the good of the order. Let's do a dozen. Let's see if Aisha, can you tell me the abbreviation for dozen?
Someone typed in the chat.
Okay, well, what's in there?
Aiden Ramos said, what's the thing called on Classroom?
The worksheet, I believe, is called Kitchen Math and Measuring. Can anyone verify that?
It's Kitchen Math and Measuring WS.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah. You're welcome.
All right. I try not to make it too complicated, people. All right. So, Aisha, do you know the abbreviation for dozen? Okay. Your silence is telling me you don't. So let's go to Kelsey. Do you know the abbreviation for dozen?
DOZ.
Awesome. You sound so awake this morning. Good job. Okay. So we're going to continue on. We're not going to hit the worksheet again until slide 18. So we got a couple to go. But just kind of keep that in mind that we will refer back to that worksheet as we progress through. Okay, so these are just, this is slide number 16. And so we're getting kind of close to our 18 marker, but anyway, this is just showing you different things. So when you measure dry ingredients, those are things like flour, sugar, brown sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda. You're going to use the dry measuring cups, okay? To measure a 4th cup or more of a dry ingredient, use measuring cups. So you got your 4th cup, a 3rd cup, a 1/2 cup, 1 cup. Sometimes they're going to ask you like 3/4 cup, and you're going to have to remember how to do that. You know, when I was your age, this kind of thing boggled my mind and I was not good at it. If you are just like me, then that's why you're in this class to try to work out some of those kinks. But understand that I am 100% aware that, you know, some people are not good at the fraction type things, and that's why I'm here to help you. Okay. So don't ever freak out about that. I'm not anyone that's going to get upset at you because you don't know. Okay. I'd rather you ask me and, you know, measure correctly so that you can eat whatever it is you make versus, you know, not asking me and making something that tastes terrible. So just know that that is a-okay. Okay, so when you measure less than 1/4 cup, use measuring spoons. So that's kind of where those come in handy. So they come in 1/4, 1/2, 1, and those are all teaspoons, and then 1 tablespoon. To measure an 1/8, basically what you would do, and I feel like we talked about this last. So in that case, you're lucky because it's easier to measure. But, you know, if you don't, then you just basically, you know, use 1/2 of that 1/4 of a teaspoon to measure. Okay. All right. So these are just some helpful hints coming up about how I really want you to measure. And I'll probably recap these a little bit like a skinny fast, you know, if we ever get back into school. But when you're measuring flour, don't ever pack it in. Basically, you're going to spoon it into the cup measure, and then you're going to use, you can use the back of a butter knife. You could use what we call a leveler spatula type deal at school. But usually you just kind of want to level off the top. Okay. Always fill it so it's heaping. And then when you level it, it's just a lot easier. Okay. When you're doing brown sugar, that's the type of a sugar or product that has moisture. And so you do want to pack it in. It's almost like when you were little at the beach and you wanted to make a little bucket sandcastle, you would take the moist sand and you'd shove it into your pail, and then you'd overturn it and it would take on the look of the pail. Okay. Just like brown sugar has moisture in it, same kind of deal. So, you know, just spoon or, you know, use something to put it in there and then smash it down, and then use your leveler to kind of level it off. Another cool thing, if you ever want to impress anybody, is if you ever do rice is also really has a lot of moisture in it. So you can always, you know, put like cooked rice in any type of container and put it out on the plate, and it will take on the look of whatever container it came in. So it's a kind of cool if you want to, you know, make you look like all fancy for dinner or something like that. Okay, so measuring granulated sugar, basically that's sugar. You want to fill the cup again with a spoon or something like that, and then level it with your knife or spatula. Okay, always make it heaping, and then go ahead and level it off. Okay. All right, so this is where we come back to our worksheet, and basically you need to tell me which one is greater. So we have 1/2 cup, and then we have 3/4 cup. So which one is greater? Anybody can unmic and tell me. Which one out of that is greater?
3/4 cup.
Thank you, 3/4. And you can make a 3/4 by simply taking 1/2 cup and 1/4 of a cup, and that actually is 3/4. Or you could take 1/4 and 1/4 and 1/4, and that would be 3/4. If this kind of boggles your mind, I'm going to try to give you an analogy to use, but you know, it'll work for some and not for others. But I kind of look at quarters as being similar to this. And so if you have 4 quarters, you have $1, which is 1 cup. If you have 3 quarters, that's 75 cents, but 0.75 in fraction form is 3/4. If you have 2 quarters, that's 50 cents or 0.50, which in fraction form is 1/2. And if you have 1 quarter, it's 0.25, but in fraction form, it's 1/4. So if that means for whatever reason that helped me at the time when I was learning this stuff is to put it into things that I am familiar with or things that I know about, and then I can understand it a little bit better. And so that's kind of what helped me with this whole 3/4, 1/2, all that stuff. So hopefully that helped you. Okay, and then we have a 4th or a 1/3. So which one is bigger here? Anyone can unmic and tell me. If you're doing the worksheet, all I did is highlight the right one. So you'll want to do that on your worksheet.
A third.
Thank you. 1/3. Excellent. Okay, then we have, this one's a little different. So we have 1/4 of a cup or 2 tablespoons. So which one is bigger? Anybody can unmic. Anyone want to take a stab at it? Just give me your best guess. It doesn't even have to be right, because I'm here to help you. So
2 tablespoons?
nope, actually it's 1/4 of a cup, but I appreciate you putting yourself out there. Okay, the next one is 1/2 a cup or 1/4 of a cup. So you got 25 cents versus 50 cents. So which one's bigger? Anybody can unmic and tell me.
1/2 cup.
That's correct. Thank you. Okay, and then we have 1/4 of a cup or 3 teaspoons. Or yeah, 3 teaspoons. Which one's bigger? Just kind of think in your mind what 3 teaspoons looks like.
1/4 of a cup.
Yep, excellent. Thank you so much. And then our last one is a 1 1/3 cup or 1 1/4 cup. Now we already did this one, but I just put a 1 in front of it. So what makes sense?
1
Anybody?
1/3 cup.
Yep, 1 1/3 cup. Very good. So hopefully you got those as we were going through. And like I said, I just used a highlight, just highlighted the right answers. You can underline it. You could, you know, make it italic, whatever. Just change the one that should be greater to something. Highlight, bold it, underline it. Whatever suits you is easiest for me. Okay. So this one, usually people have an issue with this one or they have a difficult time, you know, but a stick of butter or margarine, they have these little measuring tools. It almost looks like a ruler on the margarine or butter that you buy. And 1 stick is 1/2 a cup. Now this one gets a little confusing because a lot of people use their common sense and they're like, okay, 1 stick, 1 cup. But that is not the case for butter. So this is where you got to kind of take your common sense and throw it out the window for this one because it doesn't make sense. But 1 stick of margarine is 1/2 a cup, or it's 8 tablespoons. Okay, so you look at the marker, like some recipes will call for 4 tablespoons. So you just count out 4 tablespoons and you cut it, and then that's what you use. But some people that don't know that a stick of margarine is 1/2 a cup might use it in place of a cup, and then their product won't turn out because they were supposed to have 2 sticks instead of 1 stick. Okay, so this is one where it kind of does not help you. Measure solid fats such as shortening or peanut butter in a dry measuring cup. So you can kind of see the picture there on how they want you to put it in the dry measuring cup, level it off the best you can, and then use, they either call it a spatula, you know, a rubber scraper, plastic scraper, and that's how you get it out. Another helpful hint is sometimes if you have butter spray and you spray the measuring cup beforehand, and then you put the margarine in it, it'll just kind of fall out when you are putting it in whatever it is you're using. But sometimes, like for me personally, I, you know, I'm busy cooking and I don't want to reach over and grab the cooking spray. So I just go ahead and pack it up and use the rubber spatula, and that works just as well. Okay, so moving into our next one. This is one where I'm just gonna kind of pass it up right now, but I want to do something like a flip grid or something where you guys can show me how to measure. And I believe on your worksheet I had a cup of flour, so I'm just looking for you to show me that you can heap it and then level it off, and then with water. I don't know if we've covered that yet. Did we talk about that? There's one that, there was one that you're supposed to measure your wet ingredients. I must have, obviously, it's coming up or something. I don't know. But when you measure liquid ingredients, you put them in the liquid measuring cup, and then you get down at eye level maybe I did cover this. Anyway, you get down at eye level and you look at it. So I kind of wanted a video of you guys doing that, like showing me. And when you measure with a tablespoon, it's supposed to have a small little dome over the top. And then with brown sugar, packing it in. And so I was going to have you do like a short little video of that, but I'm still working that out. So we're going to go ahead and bypass this one for now, but know that that's something that will be assigned, you know, maybe next time. Okay. So we're not going to go back to the worksheet until slide 27. So basically you just need your eyes and ears at this point. This chart shows some amounts that you'll often see in recipes, and it shows how to measure those amounts with measuring spoons. So this is where if you have 1 tablespoon, that's equal to 3 teaspoons. Okay, so if you didn't have a tablespoon at home and just a teaspoon, you could measure a tablespoon by just using 3 teaspoons. And I'm not talking about like, you know, the spoons in your silverware. These are actually spoons made for baking and cooking. So those are the ones that I'm referring to, okay? 3/4 of a teaspoon, you can use 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, just like the cups, or you can use 1/2 and 1/4. Now, it depends. Some people want to just measure twice, and so they'll get the 1/2 teaspoon. Some people just want to get out 1 utensil, and then if they can use it 3 times, they find that easier. So you decide which one would be best for you. You know, you don't really care about getting another measuring spoon out. A lot of times they're attached together anyway. So then you just have to measure twice. The 1/8 of a teaspoon is 1/2 of the 1/4. And then 1/8 of a cup is a tablespoon and a tablespoon. So if you're ever trying to figure that out, you know, it calls for 1/8 of a cup. I don't have 1/8 of a cup. I want to be more accurate. So it's basically 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon. Okay, basic equivalent. So this is where, and I'm not sure. Okay, this is this is what I didn't want to show you yet. Sorry, slide 23 was the one that, sorry. Anyway, slide 22, that's where you need to be. And that is on the worksheet. I goofed when I said that you wouldn't get to it till slide 27. So go to slide 22. And then I'm trying to remember. Is it Landon? Landon, you're my MC, right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're good.
All I have is Roach on here. And I'm like, okay, I know it starts with an L. Okay, so what I want to ask you is on your worksheet for slide number 22, does it say pinch dash equals TSP?
1 second.
Okay. Any luck?
My internet's just really slow. Oh, I'm already on it. Oh my gosh.
Because what happened was I think I goofed this one up, so I fixed it, but I don't know if it fixed on your guys's. So
All right, so what slide?
okay, so slide 22.
Yep.
Okay, so it says pinch slash dash equals TSP, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, and does the second one read 1 tablespoon equals teaspoon?
Yeah.
Okay, TSP it says, not TBSP.
Oh no, it does say TVSP.
Okay, so this one, guys, should say TSP. So if you can correct that, that's going to make your life a little easier.
TSP.
Yeah. And then the 1/4 of a cup right below it says equals, does it say TBSP?
Yeah.
Okay, and the one where it hit, sorry, where there's like a line that says TSP actually goes to the 1/3 cup. So the 1/3 cup, it should say 1/3 cup equals blank TBSP blank TSP. So basically just cut that and put it in 1/3 cup.
So
Am
do
I
we
making
get
sense?
rid of it on the 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to recap. So at slide 22, where it says 1 tablespoon is equal to, it should say TSP. So basically just delete the B out of there. For the 1/4 cup, it should just say equals TBSP only. And for the 3rd cup, it should say equals blank TBSP, but also blank TSP. And the rest I did okay, but that's where I goofed up. Okay, so are you ready for this one? Okay, so a pinch or a dash equals how many teaspoons would you say? Anybody. Doesn't have to be Landon, even though I know he's on mic, but it can be anybody. So a pinch dash equals how many teaspoons would you think? Take a
1/8.
guess. What was that?
1/8.
Okay, so yes, it would be less than an eighth of a teaspoon. So an eighth, yes, and less teaspoon. I just did, for me personally, I did a minus and then 1/8. Okay, so 1 tablespoon equals how many teaspoons is what that should say. So what's your guess on that? If I wanted to make a tablespoon, but all I had were teaspoons, how many would I need? And I think I showed this one to you already, but what do you think?
3.
Thank you. Perfect answer. Okay. And then what would I need tablespoon wise for 1/4 of a cup? How many tablespoons for 1/4 of a cup? Take a guess if you don't know. Anybody out there? Okay, that one I'll give you. It's 4 tablespoons. So 1/4 cup equals 4 tablespoons. Okay, what about 1/3 of a cup? We know it equals how many tablespoons and blank teaspoons? 1/3 of a cup. How many tablespoons do you think?
3.
Higher?
Or
Higher?
5.
Excellent. So 5 tablespoons, and then how many teaspoons for that one? What'd you think? So you got
2.
5. Sorry. It's actually 1. So the 3rd cup should equal 5 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. So if you had 1/4 of a cup and it equals 4 tablespoons, what would 1/2 of a cup equal tablespoon wise?
6.
Higher?
7.
Higher?
8.
8. So 1/4 of a cup is 4, so 1/2 of a cup would be 8. So what would 3/4 of a cup be?
12.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then 1 cup would equal how many tablespoons?
16.
Excellent. Good job. Okay. So I'm going to reveal those answers in case we went too fast and you did not catch them. But just recapping, a pinch is less than an eighth. 1 tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. 1/4 of a cup is 4 tablespoons. 1/2 is 8. 3/4 is 12, and 1 is 16. And if you're doing the 1/3 of a cup, that would be 5 tablespoons and 1 teaspoon. Okay, so if you are keeping up with the worksheet, these are your answers. And again, you can abbreviate. So like if I'm doing, even though I wrote out tablespoon, you could put a big T there if you wanted to save time. Or you could put a big T and a B and an L, or sorry, TBSP. And for the teaspoon, you could just use a little t or do TSP. It's totally up to you how you want to abbreviate. Okay, but abbreviations are A-okay in recipes. No worries there. Okay, so if we have that, then let's move on. Trying to move forward here. Okay. All right, so here's some helpful hints. if you think of 1 tablespoon and how teaspoon is spelled, TEA are 3 letters. And if that helps you remember that there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon, that will be helpful for you in the future. Okay. 1/4 cup is equal to 4 tablespoons. So they kind of show you like a diagram of a pitcher, let's say, and they're showing you this 4 tablespoons is equal to the 1/4 of a cup. Okay, so those are just some helpful hints. I always enjoy hints, you know, whenever anyone can throw anything at me, I'm just like, that's going to help me remember that. So I usually like to do a play on letters, play on words, you know, how I would reference them in my brain. If you ever have anything that would be helpful that you've found as kind of a trick, we'd always welcome those thoughts and ideas. So if you ever can contribute anything like that. Okay, so we're just going to talk about basic equivalencies. Okay, so 1 fluid ounce is equal to 2 tablespoons. Okay, so you can kind of see that in the picture that they've did a diagram for you. 8 ounces is 1 cup. So we talked about last week, you know, if I was buying, like, let's say ricotta or cottage cheese for my lasagna, and the recipe called for 8 ounces, then I would look for that container and it would probably be this, it would look like a cup, you know, and then 16 ounces equals a pound. Okay. And then this is where we kind of get into pints, quarts, and gallons. So if you have 2 cups, that's equal to a pint. Okay. And then, like, if you think about your milks at school, they're usually a pint, which means there's 2 cups in there. And then if we're talking about a quart, if you want to stick with cups, that's 4 cups, or 2 pints is equal to that 1 quart. And then if we're sticking to cups when it comes to gallons, there's 16 cups in 1 gallon, or 8 pints in 1 gallon, or 4 quarts in 1 gallon. There's kind of an easy tool to remember that, and it's on the next slide. So, you know, if you can put this in your brain and kind of file it away for whenever we need it, I think it should come in handy for you. Okay, so this is just kind of a healthy formula to think about. It has a big G, if you can see that, okay, for gallon. It has 4 Q's for quarts. It has 2, 4, 6, 8 P's for pints, and it has the cups in the P's twice, okay? So breaking this down for you, in 1 pint is 2 cups. So in that P portion, like the loop part, you can fit 2 C's in there so that you can hopefully remember that 1 pint is 2 cups, okay? If I have 2 pints, it fits in the Q, which means 2 pints equals a quart, but you can also look at it as 4 cups, okay? You can kind of see that there. And then if you have 4 Q's, so you're looking at the Q's, okay? If you have 4 Q's, then that's equal to a gallon, or 8 pints, or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 cups, okay? So if in your mind, you can always have this kind of being able to be pulled forward when you need it, I think that should be helpful. Or sometimes I'm a visual learner, as I've told you many times. I would have to write it down because I have to see it in order to comprehend it. Okay, it's harder for me to comprehend things if I just think about them. Not that I can't do it, it just takes a little more processing. But if I can put it on paper and see it, then I'm much better at comprehending it than any other way. Okay, so, you know, in class, if you were asking me this question, I might say visualize it or write it and figure it out on your own. If you can't, then come to me and I will help you. Okay, but, you know, as a high schooler, you need to start becoming independent and relying on yourself. Okay, and reaching out for help after you've tried to solve the problem on your own. Okay, I can solve the problem. Boom, this is the answer. But in life, there may not be somebody around to always solve your problems for you. And so you need to work it out the best you can. And if you need to reach out, you know, there's people that can be available to you, but relying on yourself to be able to figure something out is very rewarding. And at this stage of the game in your life, you need to start working on that. Okay. So again, if I was at your stage in life, I would visualize it or I'd write it down and I'd try to figure out on my own. And then if I couldn't, then I'd reach out to someone else that can help me. Okay. All right. So let me see okay. So this was 25. So I got another one or two to go. All right. So equivalents at the store. So these are some things that you might see at the store. Many foods are sold in pints or quarts. Many recipes will ask you to measure those foods by cups. I mean, it makes sense. You know, more than likely you're going to see a recipe that talks about cups versus pints or quarts. But if for some reason a recipe does call for that, you need to know the equivalency, okay? The measurement that equals that. So if you have a 1 cup, that's going to equal to half a pint, okay? If you have 2 cups, that's 1 pint. And if you have 2 pints, that's 4 cups. 1 quart, 4 cups. And 4 quarts, 1 gallon. So again, you have to either visualize or write down the little cheat I gave you with the gallon, the 4 quarts, the P's, the C's within the P's to try to help you figure out measurements. Okay, even if you're at the store and you had your shopping list and a pencil or pen, you could visualize that, you know, or you could write that down, and then that can help you and guide you. Okay, so this is our 27, and it's a little few problems for you. Okay, so you're going to answer these following questions with either half pint, 1 pint, or 1 quart. Okay, and if you have to write the visual down on a piece of paper next to you or something, that is a-okay with me. Okay, or if you're a good visual learner or a good, auditory or visual, that's what I want to say, sorry, then this might help you. Okay, so here we go. A recipe for salad calls for 2 cups of cottage cheese. So would the answer be that's equal to a half a pint, 1 pint, or 1 quart? What is the answer?
1 pint.
1 pint, thank you. Okay, our next one. A recipe for a fruit dessert calls for 1 cup of whipping cream. So is the answer going to be a half a pint, 1 pint, or 1 quart?
A half a pint.
A half a pint, excellent. You need 4 cups of milk for pudding. So would it be a half a pint, 1 pint, or 1 quart for 4 cups of milk? What's your answer for that? 1 quart.
1 quart.
Yes, excellent. Okay, what about you need 2 cups of sour cream to make a dip. So which one are you going to choose?
1 pint.
1 pint. And our last one, a recipe for fruit salad says to mix 8 ounces of yogurt with fruit. So what would you put there?
1 cup.
Well, that's not an option. It's either a half pint, 1 pint, or 1. What is it? I didn't catch it. What'd you say?
Give me a sec.
Okay.
A half a pint.
Half a pint. Good job. Okay, so we're going to move right into another little section here. Okay, so now that you know how many cups make up a half pint, 1 pint, 1 quart, try to figure out how many ounces are in these amounts. So if I have 1 cup, how many ounces is that? Somebody already told me, but let's see if they can remember. What was it?
16.
8.
8. Yep. So in 1 cup, there's 8 ounces. 8 ounces in a cup. All right. Here's the next one. If I have a half a pint, how many ounces? You got to think back to the last slide. How many cups were in half a pint? Or sorry, well, you can figure it out that way, but how many ounces? Anybody can unmic and tell me.
Is it 8 also?
It is 8 also. Yeah, you probably thought I was trying to trick you, but I'm not. So 8 ounces in a half a pint. Excellent job. And then now we're going to do a little bit more math. So if I have 1 pint, how many ounces is that? Because you have to remember how many cups in a pint to figure this one out. And then
16.
16. Very good. All right, a little bit harder now. So I have 1 quart. So you have to figure out how many pints and then how many cups, and then turn the cups into ounces, and then that'll tell you how many ounces are in the quart. Can you figure that one out? What was it?
32.
Awesome. Good job. That's a hard one. All right, we're going to go a little harder now. All right, so now we have a gallon. We have to think back to that diagram. We got the big G. We got 4 quarts in there. We got 2 pints in each quart. And then we got 2 cups in each pint. Then we have to convert it to cups and then figure out how many ounces. So how many gallons equal how many ounces? Or 1 gallon, sorry, equals how many ounces? What?
64.
Nope.
128.
128.
Wow, good job. Mathematicians here. 128. Can anybody digest that one for me? Like, how did you figure that out? Can you just kind of run through your mind's process on how your mind figured that out? Or the calculator or whatever you want to tell me. Can anyone like go through it and just kind of tell me how your brain worked to figure it out?
I just knew that like 1 gallon is like 4 quarts, and then like 4 quarts is like 8 pints, and then like 8 pints is like 16 cups, and then I just did like 16 times 8.
Okay, very good. Nice job. Love it. Okay. So it's good to kind of have someone process it through, because some people's minds are like so jumbled that they're just like trying to rally. But I thought that was Cameron that just talked to me, but if not, whoever it was, you did a great job of explaining it. And it really shows like how your brain processed through all the garble that it has to figure that out. So I appreciate you sharing that. Nice job. Okay. Then we're going to move on to slide 29. Or wait, this was 20. Okay. Okay, so this is our little quiz. I think I must have messed up my slides. Hold on. I think that was, what's that? Okay, whoops. Okay, this is slide 29. I was getting confused and I'm back now. Okay, so we're going to do a little quiz. Let's see how you do. I'm going to go ahead and give you all of the questions. And then you are going to figure out the answers for me. So I'm going to give you, maybe a minute and a half, let's say, and see if you can't figure out what these answers are, so that we can get people to respond. So take a moment and just kind of go 1 through 5. If you're using your worksheet, which is the smart thing to do, you're just going to put those answers in. And then in a minute and a half, I'm going to check back with you. So take a minute and a half to see if you can't fill out 1 through 5. And you can always go back in your worksheet to help guide you if need be, if it does help. Landon, can you give me a time really quick?
What was that?
Can you give me a time? Like what time is it?
8:26.
8:26. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, you got just about 30 seconds that remain, so try to get as many done as you can. About 10 seconds remain. Okay, so let's see how you did here. Okay, anyone can unmic. 1 pint is how many cups?
2.
Excellent. 1 gallon is how many quarts?
4.
4. Awesome. How many cups are in a quart?
4.
Very good. And if you're thinking, you know, some people are good processors, but if you still are a visual learner and you need to write down that GQPCC, do it, because that's going to help you learn in the long run. Okay. How many, if 1 cup, how many tablespoons in 1 cup? What was that?
16.
Yep. And then 1 tablespoon is equal to how many teaspoons? Awesome.
3.
Nice job, everybody. You are listening, at least those that are answering. Nicely done. Okay, so now we're going to measure and look at some different ways of doing things. So if you're going to measure 2/3, it would be 1/3 of a cup and 1/3 of a cup, okay? Let me ask you this. If I had 1/3 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup, and 1/3 of a cup, what does that equal? Anyone can unmic. This is just a random question I'm throwing at you. What would that equal? 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3. What would that equal? 1. Okay, good. Okay, so 3/4 cup is 1/2 and 1/4. 1/8 is 1/2 of a 1/4 of a cup. 1 cup, you could do 1/2 and 1/2. We already did the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And then you could do 4/4 is going to equal a cup. So for this question, it would be on your worksheet, slide 30. It says, how would you measure these amounts? So if you had 1 and 1/4 cup, tell me what cups you would use to measure it. Anybody?
A cup and 1/4 of a cup.
Excellent. And then if I had 2/3 cup, how would I measure that? What cup measures would I use to make 2/3 of a cup?
2 of the 1/3 of a cup.
Yes. So you would do 1/3 of a cup and 1/3 of a cup. Thank you. And what about 3/4 of a cup? How would you measure that one?
3/4 cups.
Okay, you could do 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, or anyone have an or out there?
1/2 a cup and 1/4 of a cup.
Excellent. Okay, nicely done. Okay. So, check my time here.
Aiden Ramos said, so what do we put down?
Okay. So for the 1 1/4 cups, if I was going to show you what to put down, I would put 1 cup. So I do 1 C, and then the fraction 1/4, and then a C, because that shows me how to measure it out. And then for the 2/3 cup, I do 1/3 cup, 1/3 cup, because that equals 2/3. Does that make sense, Aiden? Landon, did he put that?
said
Yes,
yeah.
no?
He
Okay.
said yeah.
Okay, because I only have 5 minutes left, I'm leaving you with some homework. It's really easy. You could do it in the next 10 minutes or less. Okay, So if you look at slide 31, oh, you know what? I'm not, I can't do this because you don't, oh, yes, you do. You have this recipe. Sorry. I was thinking you didn't have this, but you do. Okay. So what it's asking for you to do is to take this recipe and make it double the recipe. Okay. So you need 6 dozen instead of 3. So your homework is to I don't want you to change what I have on your paper. I just want you to maybe put in parentheses the number that it would be if you doubled it. Okay. So that's for this one. And then I also want you to go to the next one, which is chocolate cake. And I want you to half the recipe. So again, I don't want you to change anything, maybe just in parentheses or put a number on there highlighted on what it would be if the recipe was halved. So that's slide number 31 and 32 are your homework. So when I get back with you on Thursday, I am going to go over this and I'll be expecting it to be done. Okay. Can somebody clarify those directions? Just tell me what your brain heard me say.
Wait, I got a question real quick.
Go ahead. Yes.
Wait, so we actually have these slides because I cannot find them.
Okay. You don't have the slides, but in your worksheet that I gave you, I put slide 31 and I put the recipe there, and you just need to, on your worksheet, put another number there that maybe could be highlighted as the either doubled amount or the halved amount. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. So can anyone play back what I just said in your brain? What did you hear me say? Supersonic. Landon, can you recap this for me quickly?
Hello. What'd you say?
Can you just recap what I just said about these recipes?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So we go on the slides, and for the chocolate, not the chocolate, but the cookies, you kind of just double the recipe, and then for the chocolate cake, you just half the ingredients. That it says.
Awesome. Yes. And when does that due?
Teaches us.
What's that?
Doesn't it just teach us?
Well, when do I want it to be done will be Thursday.
Tomorrow. It's homework for the day.
Well, it's due Thursday, not tomorrow. But anyway.
Oh, yeah,
so,
that's what I meant next time. Right?
Yep. So 31 and 32 slides I need you to do. They are on the worksheet. You just have to transfer it into halves or doubled amounts. Okay. And if you did not do the pretest, I should be able to see you today from 11 to noon to retest, Thursday from 2 to 3, or Friday from 11 to 12. Okay. Otherwise, I'm signing off with you today. Let me get back to my screen so I can see you all before you leave. So there we go. And if you ever just want to come to my office hours and just get to know each other a little bit better, that would be great too. We could talk about, the best restaurants in Battle Creek or anything nutrition or what you're doing. I kind of get bored sitting there for an hour doing nothing. So if you ever want to come in and just, get to know each other a little bit better, I'm so up for that. Okay. All right. So I saw that there's a couple things in the chat. So let me kind of look. The recipe is on the worksheet. Okay. It's under chocolate chip cookies and how do you measure? Do you want me to show you? I can maybe show you super quick. Okay. I'll present my screen. Go into this class. It's under where is it? Right here. And you just open this. And it shows you the slide number. So if you look right here, oh shoot, I guess I didn't do that for you guys. Whoopsie. Okay, so it looks like I need to do that for you, huh? Why does mine look different? That is so weird. Okay, obviously I goofed that one up. I don't know. I will fix this in the next 10 minutes, but just try to get it done before we meet again if you could, okay? But I'm going to work on that in ASAP right now. And I'll get back to you. Just look to see if it's there. But thank you for clarifying that. You're right. It is not there. And I will make sure that I do that. Okay, good enough. All right. So if you're happy with that, go ahead and sign off. And like I said, I'm going to sit down right now and I'm going to put the recipe in there. So you'll be able to switch those numbers. And it's so weird that mine actually has the recipe on it. So I'm not really sure like what happened there, but you know, who knows? I will fix it. So go ahead and head out. I will talk to you guys on Thursday. Thanks for coming. And we'll see you next time. Landon, if you're still here, thanks for being my MC. Okay, so I screwed that up. Good one, Rebecca. Down here with me. Can I ever go on here and fix things? Hold on, I probably